I'm Aura, and I'm the host of Collective Mind, and I am fairly sure that I'm the only one fronting right now, but there's been a lot of other alters around and blurry and such throughout the day, so I could be wrong. But I am going to film an update video, like partly a system update video, partly like a life update video. So yeah, that is the plan. And then hopefully we'll be getting back into the normal swing of things soon. So first things first, you will probably notice, if you didn't already know this from a live stream or something, but I am not in the same place. So we have moved. We are most of the way done moving. We are just about all the way done moving in, but not quite all the way done moving out. We have the rest of the month to get the last things out of the old apartment and hand in the keys and whatnot. But like I said, that is something a lot of you will know already from live streams and such, where we have said that because we've done a couple streams since we've been here. So the background was different in those two. And then this next one, the other like life update part of this, like that category of this video, is one a lot of you will also know already because we made a community post about it. We haven't shared much in general about our like relationships and personal life. We have decided from the beginning of this channel and everything that we want to be really intentional about what we choose to share, knowing that we can't really take any of it back once we have made it public. But one thing we did share is some of the types of relationships we had with our partner system Primal Pack, who's been in a lot of our videos and live streams and stuff. And because we had shared some of that publicly, we wanted to update publicly to some extent. We are not currently dating or living with Primal Pack, so we have no dating relationships at this point between the systems, and we're not living together. But many of the other types of relationships, friendships, familial type relationships, things like that, have not changed. And we plan to still do content together and stuff like that, especially once we're over a lot of the big moving stuff that makes it hard to start with. But we are choosing in the same way that we have done so far with most of our types of relationships and everything, and even these relationships to begin with. We're not going to go into more detail really, other than that we're still friends, we're still close, but we're not dating and we're not living together, and that it's not going to stop us from doing content together. But because it will change some of like what we call each other, and we have been introducing them as our partner system or fiance or those types of things, we didn't want to just stop using those terms and not say anything, or for any kind of like wild speculation to come out of it or anything like that. But we would appreciate you guys respecting our privacy, essentially, about our relationships in general, anything that we choose not to share for any reason. On a different note, I did change a little bit some of the setup, especially how the cameras work for like Charlie Cam and stuff. She is of course showing it off for the first time in this video by finding a way for her whole head not to be on camera, of course. But I have it set up in such a way now where I don't have to move the camera around depending on if she wants to be in my lap or over there. I have it set up so both of those are ready to go on their own, and a couple other little things like that. The rest of the setup involves like the streaming setup, which I did in a Q&A live stream earlier today as I'm filming this. If I edit this and get it up when I'm planning to on Monday, then the stream I'm referencing will have been Q&A stream on the Friday before this is uploaded. So, yeah, still trying to figure out if there's something I want to do for filming videos that blocks all this like food storage stuff behind me, because I don't know that I love that being in the background, but I can see if I can find a better solution for that. Otherwise, it's probably not a huge deal. So those are the life updates and a little bit of like a tech setup update, I guess. And it will be the most noticeable for live streams and videos of live streams that go up afterward, because that's when we often had to move the camera in real time depending on where Charlie chose to be and things. So that should be less annoying than before. That being said, we have a few system updates too. One that I don't know if we've talked about yet, and I feel like we probably haven't because I didn't know a whole lot about it yet, but that I feel like I can update a little bit on now, is Joseph, who has been on the channel I think once on purpose and once very briefly on a live stream not on purpose. Joseph split weeks and weeks ago now, probably a few months ago honestly at this point. Not related to any of the other stuff that I've talked about in this video. And I know very little still about any alters who like resulted from the split. One I know has been around the front a lot more than Joseph had been, closer to what Joseph's role was before the previous split, like before I knew about the system and for the first little bit after I learned about the system, because Joseph had also split shortly after I learned about the system. So that that version of Joseph, who used to be a co-host, we've talked about some on the channel, but none of you have met him. The channel didn't exist yet before he split that time. But I think one at least of the alters resulting from this most recent split might have more of a co-host or front facing of some kind role, at least partly. So might be more of a like front facing protector, co-host, somewhere in there. But I don't know a name or really anything more specific than that. So feels kind of like half an update, but it's I think more than we've said before. So since I was doing an update video anyway, I figured I would say that, and then I can always further update later if I know more. And it's also been long enough now that I knew I had like consent to share the little bit that I do know. So more recently we have had some system stuff happen because of like all the stress and everything about what's been going on. The one that will affect the channel the most, I expect, is Jade has gone dormant pretty recently, like within the past couple weeks, right before the move. Some other alters went dormant as well, pretty much at exactly the same time as she did, but I don't think any of them okay, not well, most of them hadn't been on the channel, and if they had, it was like once or twice and not for a long time. So I think the one that would potentially have been noticeable is Jade, because she was pretty regularly in videos and live streams and stuff. I have no idea how long we should expect her to be dormant. I'm also, in general, not gonna share a ton of like what's going on with specific alters that leads to things like dormancy or splitting or things like that. Especially not when I can't check immediately with them for consent. So just in general, there's a lot that's been going on, obviously, and she needed to be dormant for right now. And like I said, I have no idea how long to expect that to last. But in general, we are okay. We are in a safe place, and we can afford where we live, and money's actually a little less tight than before. Yeah, so short version basically is some things have changed, including some fairly big things, but we are okay and expect to continue to be okay. She found another place where her head isn't on camera. Of course. One thing I would be interested in some of your thoughts on in the comments, and I will probably also make a Patreon poll about this, is some of the next videos we had planned and outlined and everything were ones Jade was very involved in, and she had planned to film part or all of them. But Josh especially would be able to film those same videos and would have been involved in at least a couple of them anyway. And so we'd be interested in your thoughts in general on if you think it would make more sense to wait for Jade to wake up from dormancy and potentially still want to film those videos, or if we should go ahead and have Josh or whoever film them and acknowledge that Jade was really involved in the planning for it, and then if she wants to later, she can always film a part 2 or from her perspective or those types of things. But yeah, I think at least 3 of the upcoming videos we had already planned and everything that we had been having some trouble filming for a little bit anyway were ones that Jade was going to be very involved in, so trying to figure out what to do with that at this point, and we would love your thoughts, like I said. There are some fun buttons below this video that help us a lot and also tell YouTube that you like it, so if you like the video, or subscribe if you haven't. I said or, but I really mean and ring the bell for notifications to make sure you don't miss future videos. And there's also a membership button, or at least there should be, which is our cheapest subscription thing on any of the various places that we have, cheaper than any of our Patreon tiers or on Twitch or any of that, which gives you the membership here gives you some fun emotes, and it highlights your messages and makes them stand out in chats and live streams and stuff, but also we can sort comments to see member messages first, things like that. So that is worth checking out if you want. And then if you keep going down below those buttons, there is a description box that has all kinds of things, including a link to our Patreon, like I mentioned, which still for a little bit longer has a special going on through the end of this calendar year, where all of our existing patrons and anyone who joins in time will get a discount off of our Etsy shop, which is also linked in the description. And some of our Patreon tiers always have an Etsy discount, but the discount for right now for the special offer is higher than normal. So the idea was a way for people to potentially get some holiday gifts off of there, or spend some holiday money that they got maybe off of there. But we also have some other special ideas coming up for special offers on our Patreon, so you can look forward to those as well. And there's never any pressure for these things for any of you who can't or aren't interested, but there are some cool perks over there, And especially when there's a special offer, I think it's worth checking out in case you might be interested. We also have a wish list over on our, not on our Patreon, I guess the link is on our Patreon too, but our wish list is linked in the description. We have updated our shipping address on there. You can't see it, but so that it ships to the right place. But if any of you have recently sent us something from the wish list and you haven't seen us make an unboxing for it, please let us know in case it went to the old apartment instead. We are going there one last time to finish up the last of the moving stuff anyway, but we can keep an eye out for it, or we can let you know if it got lost one way or another so that you can get a refund because we have no way to see on our end if anyone sent us anything unless we get the package. So especially now, even more than before, it would be worth letting us know in some way, including the survey form thing that we linked on our community page at some point, which is especially helpful in case you want to be anonymous. That would be a way to do it. But yeah, please let us know if you think we should have gotten something you sent and we didn't. There is nothing currently that we have gotten from the wish list that we didn't make an unboxing for that I know of as of filming this. But yeah, we have a Discord server as well, linked in the description. Our whole Twitch channel is linked in the description where we do gaming live streams. We do upload those videos of the stream here after the fact, but if you want to be there live and talk to us and react in real time or participate in polls for what we're doing or make funny sound effects happen while I'm doing the stream, things like that, then you have to be there live. So our Twitch is linked down there and you can make sure to follow it and turn notifications on there too so that you make sure you see them. But we also put in our Discord announcements on our Discord server when we're doing live streams on either platform or when videos go live, so that's another way to help with notifications. Remember to comment if you have any thoughts about those videos I talked about that Jade would have filmed all or part of, and especially if you are one of our patrons, if we get a poll up over there. But you can also comment other thoughts and questions and stuff like that, as long as you respect our boundary about privacy for our relationships and stuff. We are not sharing more about that than we already have. But in general, we like questions, and if we're not comfortable answering any, we just won't. Keep an eye out for more new stuff coming, hopefully getting closer to our normal with our schedule and everything, but to some extent our schedule will always be more of an ideal schedule because we have disabilities that can obviously get in the way of staying on top of those types of things, and we can't schedule our symptoms to stay away from live stream times. So we're hoping to get closer to that schedule, but it's never going to be consistently exactly what we want. But hoping it to be more than it has been, at least for the past little bit. And yeah, if I missed anything else that I should have talked about from the description, I will put it on the screen now. But I think I hit the major things. Thank you again for watching, and what? That's not my outro. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.